What is drum brake? What is disc brake? Drum brakes versus disc brakes. What is drum brake? Drum brake is a speed braking system in vehicles, in which inside the drums are brake shoes with brake pads that press against the drums from the inside to provide braking force. Friction is created by forcing the brake linings against the inside surfaces of the drums in this arrangement. Friction converts kinetic energy to heat energy. When opposed to disc brakes, drum rotation helps press the shoes and lining against the drum with more force, providing higher braking force. What is disc brake? In a disc brake, its rotors rotate with the wheels, and brake pads attached to the brake calipers clamp down on these rotors to halt or slow the wheels. The friction created by the brake pads rubbing against the rotors converts kinetic energy into thermal energy. This thermal energy produces heat, but the heat is effectively distributed because the major components are exposed to the atmosphere. This heat dissipating feature helps prevent brake fade, which is when the heat affects braking performance. Structure of drum brakes. Drum brakes are a braking system in which the brake drums revolve along with the wheels. Brake shoes with brake linings are installed within each drum. To generate braking force, pistons press on the drums from the inside, allowing the vehicle to decelerate and stop. Structure of disc brakes. The braking rotor, which spins with the wheel, is gripped on both sides by brake pads fitted to the caliper with pressure from the pistons, slowing and stopping the vehicle. Working of drum brake. When you press the brake pedal, the fluid in the master cylinder is compressed, allowing the piston of the wheel cylinder to extend outward. The brake shoe is forced outward against the braking drum by the outward motion of the wheel cylinder piston. The wheel's motion is reduced as the brake shoe lining meets the inner surface of the drum, and the vehicle stops owing to friction between the brake shoe and drum. Working of disc brake. When the brake pedal is depressed, the master cylinder's high-pressure fluid pushes the piston outward. The brake pad is pushed against the revolving disc by the piston. As the inner brake pad makes contact with the rotor, the fluid pressure increases, and the caliper advances inside, pulling the brake pad towards the rotating disc, where it makes contact. The piston travels inward when the brake pad is released, and the brake pad moves away from the rotating disc. The truck then begins to move again. Components of drum brake. 1. Backing plate. The backing plate is a relatively thin metal-based band placed on the back of the drum brake system, and is one of the drum brake components. This component protects other drum brake components. The backing plate is shaped like a circle with several holes and protrusions. 2. Wheel cylinders. Drum brakes are made up of wheel cylinders that transform fluid pressure into mechanical action. In drum braking systems, numerous types of wheel cylinders are commonly encountered or employed. 3. Return spring. The return spring is an important drum brake component that returns the brake shoe to its original position before the brake lever or pedal pressure is applied. The return spring in a drum braking system is made up of two parts, the upper spring and the lower spring. 4. Brake shoes and pads. Drum brake components such as brake shoes and pads are also common. A brake shoe or brake pad applies the brake on a drum brake system. 5. Brake shoe holder. The brake shoes will be connected to the backing plate and put or kept. The brake shoe holder is either dynamic or movable. The holding mechanism may then properly support the drum brakes. Components of disc brake. 1. Brake calipers. Brake calipers, often called calipers, are an important component of disc brakes in automobiles. Calipers will make a mechanical movement to clamp the brake lining on the disc. 2. Caliper bracket. Because the caliper bracket is used to attach the caliper, it cannot be removed from the car disc brake unit because the caliper bracket keeps the caliper in place and prevents it from moving. 3. Disc plate. Disc plates are disc brake components directly connected to the axles and rotate in tandem with the wheels. This disc brake component constitutes a critical component of automobile disc brakes. 4. Brake shoes. Brake shoes are a component of disc brakes that emphasize the disc part to generate friction to stop the disc brake from rotating. 5. Piston brake. The piston brake, shaped like a tube with a groove, is inside the caliper. The piston brake works by pressing or pushing the brake lining against the disc to slow or halt the wheel spinning. Conclusion. Brakes are a vital part of every car. We rely on them to stop and assist us in avoiding a collision or accident. The vehicle industry has come a long way from the early days of woodblock brakes to today's sophisticated drum and disc brakes. The two most prevalent brake systems seen in today's automobiles are drum and disc brakes, and in many cases, both are used on the same vehicle. Thanks for watching.